I want to talk about believing someone simply because they say you have to, and what path that leads you to. You're tuned in for those in the cheap seats. In today's PC culture, we have this thing called believe women. Believe women. And when I first started hearing this, I was like, what is this about? What do you mean believe women? In other words, when a woman says that she's been abused, when a woman says that something has happened to her or things are happening to her, you're supposed to just believe her word before the evidence and facts are collected. And of course, this is a feminist program that was instituted by the feminist agenda to don't look at the facts and the evidence surrounding an accusation, simply believe the woman. And on the surface, it seems innocent and harmless enough until you start to really pick apart what this means. And when you look at what this means, it simply means that women are always right, period. And you have to step back and say, wait a minute, this doesn't make much sense to me, because the last time I checked, women are human beings, and human beings lie, and human beings can be very untruthful and dishonest. So I'm just supposed to believe women on the surface because there are women? Now, granted, I will give that there are circumstances where women get abused, women get assaulted on a lot of levels. Women are trafficked, women are kidnapped, women are harmed, and you know, all types of depravity happens to females. I will say these things do happen. You know, we live in a society, we live in a world that's full of degenerates who are very depraved and do very malicious things to one another. And sometimes a lot of those things happen to women. I will be the first to acknowledge that. I have female family members and things have happened to them, traumatic things. So I will never take that argument away and say these things do not happen to women. These things happen to women, these things happen to children, and these things happen to men. We live in a society full of sick individuals. But what I will not do is say I believe someone simply because of their gender. What I will do is believe the evidence and the facts that are presented to me to prove the case. Now, I'm not saying that we should not listen to a woman's complaints or a woman's accusations. We should listen to anyone who says they have been harmed in a manner that is against the law. Yes, we should listen to that person, but what we should not do is turn off our common sense. We should let law investigate the claims before we pass judgment, because too many times we've seen in this world that people can be falsely accused of things, get persecuted in the public's eye, lose jobs, lose projects, lose just their way of life, period, to only find out later that it was absolutely not true. And when you destroy a person's life, that person can't get that life back. They have to move on and create a new life because you've destroyed their current life. So we have to take this very serious in regards of we do not want to destroy a person's life, but we do want to acknowledge that these things happen, and we do have to do a thorough job of investigating the accusations that are being passed by this alleged victim. We have to use common sense. We have to get away from this feminist agenda of just believing a woman simply because she said something. We should listen. We should investigate. And then we should bring all the facts together and see if these accusations have validity. Because if we do not do these things, we live in a society where one group gets to accuse the other group without evidence or facts, and that other group is persecuted. We're supposed to live in a just society of law, which oftentimes we don't. And especially in this culture where we have feminist supremacists who want to just incarcerate men and persecute men simply because they want to, because they have an agenda to do this. We cannot let this stand. We have to fight against any system that unfairly persecutes another group solely based on past gender biases. We have to stop this nonsense of only listening to one side. There's three sides to any story: yours, theirs, and the truth. And that's what we have to get to, the truth. Should we ignore victims? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We should listen to everyone who lays a claim of being violated by another person. But what we should do is investigate and find out the truth. That's how we stay balanced. You can't have one side outweighing the other side when it comes to justice, especially if you're not presenting all the evidence and the facts to gain the truth. Because if you don't, you're going to have an oppressor class and the oppressed class. And it's just going to be switched from race to gender. We have to stop this feminist supremacy, especially in the Black community, because it is one of the things that was initiated 50, 60 years ago to destroy our community, our families, I should say, in the first place. And we need to build strong Black families if we're going to build a strong Black nation. That's all I have on this topic. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.